What's up, everybody? Alright, man. So yeah, we're gonna go over UFC 252, and then we're gonna go into my picks for will be UFC Fight Night Edgar versus Munhoz. Alright, so UFC 252 was a great event. We saw Stipe Miocic retain his heavyweight belt, so we'll go into that fight also. So with my picks, yeah, not another good day. Good week, actually. I was 1 for 4. Yeah, that was horrible. Remember, originally I picked 5 fights. Well, one of those fights, literally like the day after I posted this video, got one of the guys tested positive for COVID, so that fight got canceled, and then they moved up to moved a different fight into the main card. We'll briefly talk about that one as well. But that fight was Ian Kuteliba against, what was his name? Hold on. Which was against Magomed Ankiev. So that, yeah, so maybe that fight will take place in a month or so. I don't know. They really haven't announced that. So yeah. So the first fight that I got incorrect was John Dodson. This was in the bantamweight division. John Dodson against Direb Malashvili. I don't want to say his name. I'm going to butcher his name. Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, okay. He's from Georgia. Yeah. So I thought Dodson was going to win that fight, and he looked horrible. The only good thing he did was prevented himself from being taken down. Other than that, he really did not provide much offense. Merab, he just had a gas thing going. He constantly went for takedowns. Like I said, he didn't get them, but he was always pushing forward. He held Dodson against the cage. Striking was good. The guy just never looks like he gets tired. So this will bump him up in the rankings. That will help out. I mean, with his gas tank, again, not many people have the takedown defense that Dodson has. So I think he'll be able to, get successful takedowns against other fighters in the bantamweight division. So it'll be interesting that we'll see what happens next. As far as what Dodson does, I don't know. I mean, he could be in fun fights, but in terms of making a run back in the bantamweight division, no, not going to happen. He just gets himself into trouble himself. He just wasn't offensive. I mean, you stuffed the takedown, so you would think maybe he would press forward. He didn't. I don't know. It was just a frustrating fight. As a fan of his, I don't know where he goes from here. But like again, he can make fun fights. But as far as title contention, nah, that's done. All right, so the fight I didn't get to talk about because that was supposed to be in the prelims and then got bumped up because of that canceled card was Ervits Burns. He is the younger brother of welterweight contender Gilbert Burns versus Daniel Pineda. Now, Ervits Burns had all this hype around him, very talented, young. Bad thing was he came in overweight, 3 pounds overweight, so that wasn't good. So he missed weight there. But what was impressive with Pineda, now, Daniel Pineda, he hadn't been in a fight in the UFC for 6 years, and he looked phenomenal. He was taking Burns down, which is, again, surprising. You don't really want, most people wouldn't want to do that with the expertise of jiu-jitsu that Burns has, and he had his way in the first round, and in the second round, it was great. He got him in a crucifix position, was just raining down elbows and elbows and elbows, and Burns could not defend himself, so they had to stop the fight. That was a great victory for Pineda. This hopefully will push him up to beat a guy that was hyped up, and people were thinking, hey, this guy's could be the next big thing. That kind of helps him move forward. So great job by Pineda. That was there. Like again, I didn't pick that fight. The one pick I did get right, all right, was in the heavyweight division. It was Jairzinho Rozenstruik against Dos Santos. Now in the beginning, it was just like kind of a chess match. They're both throwing punches, feeling each other out. Jairzinho's more of a counter puncher, but it kind of like again, it was just a technical match in the first. In the second round, Jairzinho hits Dos Santos with a beautiful left counter shot, got him hurt, got him to the edge of the cage. Boom, 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 rained down punches, wins the fight there. The referee stopped it. For Jairzinho, he's kind of, I don't know where he's gonna. He might have to fight a guy lower in the rankings because as of right now, because he was number 6. They'll bump him up probably to number 5, which Dos Santos was. So, but the problem is Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades are going to be fighting against each other. They just announced that fight. That's going to be a great fight. Ngannou's going to probably get the next title shot. Dana White will probably announce that soon. And then obviously we'll go into the main event with Stipe 1. So Stipe is going to fight Ngannou. So it kind of leaves Rozenstruik up in the air right now. Again, he might have to fight a lower ranked guy just to keep busy a little bit. But again, if he, he works on things, I mean, he has that knockout power. So he could be dangerous. We'll see what happens with him. All right, so the co-main event. So if you remember, I talked about this. This was the hype. Everybody was talking about Sugar Sean O'Malley against Marlon Chito Vera. Now, they even did a whole montage video with Stephen A. Smith hyping Sean O'Malley up for the pay-per-view viewers and everything. And Chito did not like that. He did not like being dismissed the whole fight, before the fight, the pre-fight, everything. He did not like it, and he came out aggressive. Now, in the fight, O'Malley hurts his foot. Now, at first, initially, when I watched that, I was like, why is Marlon Vera getting so excited? Because, so basically what happened was, what you see is from what everybody really saw, unless you looked at the replays later, is when Sean O'Malley was trying to, his foot like buckled on him, and when he was walking forward, he crumbled, he fell. Then, Chito came after him, he got, he couldn't stand up, so O'Malley was on the floor, and then Vera was just hitting him with some elbows, so they stopped the fight. So at first when I was watching it, I was like, whoa, why is he celebrating? I mean, the guy broke his foot or whatever he did. He's hurt. Why was he so amped about it? I mean, it's not like something he did. But then, as I would watch the fight again a second time, there is a point where Vera he kicks O'Malley behind the knee. And after that kick, you can see O'Malley switch his stance, and he doesn't have his footing properly for the rest of the fight. And then, again, he stumbles and that. So, I mean, again, we don't really know. Nobody really knows, per se. I think O'Malley might be the only person that really knows how he hurt his foot. I mean, this is an aggravated injury he had 2 years ago in a fight. So, it could be exacerbated from that. I don't know, but Vera should get credit for that victory. Again, he was the one who kicked him there. And then, like I said, you see O'Malley kind of stumble from there. So, and then, like I said, he rained down elbows. So he stopped the hype train. Vera is only 27 years old. Now he has a ranking under his name. I'd like to see him fight like the number 10 guy and see how he goes. Because remember, the fight before that, he had a bad decision go against his way. Even Dana White thought he won the fight. So, for Vera, this will be good. I mean, as long as he doesn't believe his own hype, because that's kind of what happened with O'Malley. I think he'll be good, and he'll be somebody to watch out for. All right, and so the main event was the current champ Stipe Miocic against Daniel Cormier. This was the third fight for them. They were split 1-1. Remember, Cormier won the first one, Stipe won the second one. I went with my heart. I usually don't do that. That's why I don't like picking with my heart, because of instances like this. Especially when I saw the weigh-ins, I knew Stipe was going to win this fight. He looked in better shape. I know Cormier's never really been in shape, but being this is your last fight, whatever, you think he would be in better shape than Stipe. But Stipe looked great. Though in the first round, Cormier did hit Stipe towards the end of the round, knocked him down. I mean, Stipe looked like he recovered, so so he won the first. Cormier won the first round. In the second round, it was kind of like, going back and forth, and then with about like 10 seconds of Stipe cracks Cormier, drops him. He was just raining down punches. I personally think Cormier is very lucky that there was only 10 seconds left in that round. Otherwise, I think Stipe would have TKO'd him in the second round. The third round, Stipe won that round. The fourth round, you could make an argument Cormier won that round. Though, I mean, I guess you could see it 3-1. Like I said, if I was just being unbiased, I think you could say it was 3-1 Stipe at that point going into the fifth. And in the fifth round, Stipe just held him against the cage. Cormier couldn't do anything. He was tired. He was exhausted. Stipe wins that by unanimous decision. He's the champ. For Daniel Cormier, I hope this is the end. I think he said this is going to be the end for him, the retirement. He's been an amazing fighter. I've been watching his career since Strikeforce, where he won the heavyweight Grand Prix. He's a two division champ. He's one of the best fighters of all time. Salute to him. I mean, he's going to go down as a legend. he's going to be commentating. He's a great commentator. He can even be a coach because he does coach kids and everything like that. So props to you, Cormier. You are the man. Again, it's been a pleasure watching you all these years. You're my favorite fighter. He's always been humble, respectful, and everything. So, you know, salute to you. Just nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, lost to John Jones, who's everybody considers one of the best fighters of all time, and Stipe Miocic, who's considered the best UFC heavyweight of all time. So no shame in losing to those two guys, especially when you beat Stipe once. So yes, Cormier, salute to you. Enjoy your retirement in the booth. So that will conclude UFC 252's wrap-up. We're going to go into the fight card for UFC Fight Night Edgar versus Munhoz. Alright, so the first fight on that card will be in the welterweight division. It will be Takashi Sato against Daniel Rodriguez. Sato is coming off of a TKO victory against Jason Witt, while Rodriguez is coming off a decision against Gabriel Green. Now, these guys are both unranked. I think Rodriguez will actually win this fight. I think he's been a little bit, you know, better in his, you know, in his victories that he's had. So I'm going to pick him to win that fight there. Don't know too much about him. I've just, you know, I've seen little clips in here and there, but I think he'll pull this off probably by decision or anything, you know. So that'll be that one. The next fight after that will be Marcin Pracchio, who's coming off of a loss versus Mike Rodriguez, who's on a 2-fight losing streak. Yeah, I don't know. These guys both, one of them need a win desperately in the right way. I'm not going to pick a fight there because they're kind of, I don't really know who to pick in that card. Should be a fun fight. So we'll see what happens there. So the next fight is in the light heavyweight division. It's Ovince St. Preux against Alonzo Menifield. Now, St. Preux has a lot of experience. I mean, he's fought against John Jones. He's fought against Corey Anderson. He's fought against the best of the best in the light heavyweight division. So he has a lot of experience. While Alonzo, you know, he's trying to make his way up. He's trying to make his name. Now, Alonzo's coming off of a loss. You know, for St. Preux, he lost his last fight to Ben Rothwell. St. Preux, again, he's been around. He's been fighting a while. I think Alonzo Menifield actually will win this fight. You know, he did lose his last fight by unanimous decision. So, you know, I think he has the tools. I think he'll rebound. This will be a good litmus test for him because, again, St. Preux has, you know, a lot of experience. He's a good fighter. So I think this will be good for Alonzo. I think if he wins this fight, you know, maybe it'll be a turning point for him. Move him up the division, see how he does from there. So I'm interested about that one. That will definitely be a good fight there. And I apologize. That is actually the co-main event because this is a 4-fight card. Usually the main cards are 5. So I apologize. This is a 4-fight main card. So yeah. So I guess I should make a pick on the other fight that I didn't go over. So yeah, we'll pick for that one. We'll pick Mike Rodriguez for that one. So yeah. So we'll go back to that one. It'll be Mike Rodriguez and then, you know, Alonzo Menifield. So the main event is also in the bantamweight division. It will be number 5 ranked Pedro Munhoz against number 8 ranked Frankie Edgar. Now, Munhoz is coming off a decision loss to Aljamain Sterling, who's no slouch. Aljamain Sterling, I think, is probably going to get the next title shot against Petr Yan. So, Munhoz, but before that fight, he knocked out Cody Garbrandt, who's actually fighting for the belt in the 125-pound division. So, yeah, so I think, you know, for Munhoz, you know, again, losing to Aljamain is not a big thing. For Frankie, he got destroyed by the Korean Zombie his last fight. He is a former champ. He's a legend. I think, if anything, this is maybe just, you know, kind of a litmus test for Munhoz to see, you know, the loss against Sterling, if you could put that aside, against Frankie. Frankie's a legend. Nice guy, great guy. I met the guy. He's actually really nice. I personally do think Munhoz will win this fight. He probably will win by TKO. For Frankie, I think his time is nearing the end. Again, he's number 8 ranked, so it's not bad, but in the bantamweight division. But there's a lot of killers in that division. I don't think he'll get by Munhoz, and I think from there he could just, you know, maybe be kind of like a gatekeeper. I know it sucks to say, but he's a former champ, and, you know, again, his skills aren't what they were used to be. I mean, he lost before that fight to Max Holloway. Granted, it went all 5 rounds, but he lost that fight. So he's lost to the cream of the crop there. So, you know, Munhoz, again, I think he, you know, again, no shame in losing to Sterling, especially not by decision. So I think he will finish Frankie Edgar in that fight. So for wrapping up that's going to wrap up the fight night there. Frankie versus Munhoz. It's a decent card. I mean, nothing really exciting. I mean, I guess these two guys are ranked, Munhoz and Edgar. So I guess it kind of more to see where Munhoz stands there. But, anyways, I just love watching fights. So I think it's just, if you want to get into MMA, it's always good just to watch sometimes these cards, because sometimes you think they might not be that great and they put off better fights than what you see in the pay-per-view. So that would be, that's what I would pick there. So the four picks I'm going to be making, remember, are Daniel Rodriguez, Mike Rodriguez, both, they're not related, Alonzo Menifield, and Pedro Munhoz. So that will wrap up the UFC Fight Night. We'll go over that one and then go on into the next card next week. Again, if you guys could always please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, you get these hands. I'm just kidding. No, if you guys could seriously please just like, comment, or subscribe. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.